Good morning. We're going to let this thing catch up, get this thing live and going. Give it a few seconds. Nobody's in here yet that it shows. Greg Skeens, good morning. Hey, how's Mary Beth doing? I know she posted something on Facebook. She's got a doctor's appointment this morning. I hope everything goes good. So, all right. It appears to be that we are live and there are people in here. Guys, good morning. Welcome to Clickbait Coffee. It is Tuesday. What is it? Excuse me. December 16th. Man, there's just a few more days till Christmas. So that's where she's at. All right. I hope everything goes good, Greg. So it's only a few more days to Christmas. I hope everybody has got their Christmas shopping done. I've got two other things to buy. I've got one thing to get, one thing left to get my wife, and then I've got the dad gift for Lincoln. Chantel, good morning. I've got the dad gift for Lincoln. I started doing this years ago. It's like Whitney and I would talk about everything we're going to get the boys and all this, and we get it. And then I always went and bought something that I knew the kids, we call it the dad gift, something that my wife would probably not buy the boys. And so I always buy something like that. And for my youngest one, I've got something in mind, and I'm going to go grab it this weekend and get it. So he'll get the dad gift, but I've got those two things to do, and then I'm done. And then I want to sit back and relax and not worry about all the other crap. Hatfield Homestead, good morning. So yesterday was a super, super long day. I've been remodeling on my brother's house, and then my brother's girlfriend's moving in. She's got to be out of her apartment by Friday. So they're moving all her stuff out of her apartment on Friday, and at least he's going to be able to put it in his enclosed trailer to keep everything in. So she's going to be moving down on Friday. So I've got like 2 weeks of work to pack into the rest of the week to get most of the stuff done. And yesterday was long. I was laying stone on the fireplace and got over half of it done. And then had to come home real quick, grab a shower, run to my youngest one's school for their music program. Then as soon as the music program went, we went and grabbed dinner real quick. And then I had to go to my mother-in-law's house and do some punch lists and stuff. Her house is on the market. It's showing on Friday, and she's like, there's a few things I need you to do. So it was like 10:30 or something before I got in from running all day, and I'm like, I just want to sit down for a few minutes. So I'm probably gonna have to pull the same routine, go work at my brother's house today, come back here. We've got a live at 7:00 with Nicole from Self-Reliance Festival, and then Bobby and Patrick, the guys from Midwest. We've got a live with them at 7:00 tonight. So right after the live, I'm probably gonna run up to my mother-in-law's house and finish up on her stuff to where they can show the house on Friday. So yesterday was a long day. Today's going to be a long day too. And let me see. Civil Defense Bunker. Let's see. Guys, stay alert this weekend. I got a bad feeling about December 19th. Remember the Sarah Adams interview warning event. Carry CCW always everywhere. Yeah. 100% on that. Always keep your daily carry with you. I mean, always have a gun within arm's reach. I do not have my sidearm on me right now because I've not put my wallet and my keys and all that stuff in my pocket yet. But there are firearms and all kinds of stuff within arm's reach while I'm down here doing this. So, but yes, definitely 100%. Keep your firearm handy. Keep a rifle in your truck. There's no reason not to have a rifle and a lot of ammo in your truck. So I've not seen that interview and that kind of stuff. Honestly, I've kind of stayed off. And the people that keep saying this is coming or this is coming, it's like, hey, sit back and prepare, and you don't really have to worry about what's coming down the pike. As long as you're prepared for it, it's like, okay, cool, this happened. And that's kind of what today's going to be about, prepping for Tuesday, not Doomsday. And it's why the boring stuff matters the most. We're going to get into that here in a few minutes. So, I mean, stick down in the comments, what's some of the boring stuff that you've prepped for that's like, hey, this is boring as all get out, but hey, it's going to work for me. It gets me through, and I've used it in emergency. So tell me some of the off-the-wall Tuesday preps that you've got going on, and not just the Doomsday, oh, we built a $100,000 bunker and all this kind of stuff. See, Civil Defense says, blue states with gun-free zones or victim zones, stay away. If you get out there, wear body armor too. Yeah, I mean, but then that's the whole thing of following unjust laws. Just because it's a gun-free zone doesn't technically mean that you shouldn't carry. I mean, just saying, are you gonna? I do not frequent gun-free zones very much, and when I do, we're not going to say we're armed or not, but you most likely should be armed. So, and the thing is with concealed carry, if you're actually doing concealed carry right, nobody's ever going to know that you've got a firearm on you. It's the guys that are open carrying, and everything like that. I open carry sometimes, but I always make sure my hoodie or my shirt covers, 99% of it. And it's only when you bend over or something. But, if you're doing concealed carry right, nobody's ever going to know that you've got a firearm on you. Civil Defense says, I carry always. Dan Glover, good morning. Hope everything's going good for you. Hopefully it's a little warmer in Tennessee today. I know it's going to be warmer here today. I tell you, Sunday and Monday were freaking cold. I mean, getting up and going to church at 8 o'clock Sunday morning was not fun whatsoever. I mean, it was absolutely freezing cold outside. I'm like, this is not fun. I think we were down to like 10 degrees, something like that. And it didn't get super warm on Sunday. And luckily I'd done all my prep stuff for the animals and everything like that on Saturday before the big cold front came through. I had the troughs filled up with water or with heaters in there and everything, had hay out. So literally I just went down there and checked on everybody, threw the sheep a little extra grain, and they were good to go. So Sunday was not horrible because I didn't stay outside too much. Shelly and I had a meeting and about KSL and all this stuff. So it was a great day to stay inside on Sunday. So, all right, guys. Bleeding control kits are 15% off. Use the code BLEED15, and we've got free shipping on orders over $75. And if you get your orders in, I don't see a problem with getting them to you before Christmas. But now, probably, unless you're in Kentucky, it's not going to get to you after this weekend, I would say. So most of the time, Kentucky's all like one day, something like that. So I know I shipped some stuff out yesterday, and it should be where it's supposed to go today, if not tomorrow early. So, all right, let me see what else we got. Yeah, bleeding control kits, 15% off, free shipping over $75. We will go ahead and get into the main topic. I don't have much else to talk about what I've been doing, just maintenance stuff, making sure the animals are fed, throwing a little hay out, moving them around real quick just to let them cruise through and eat a little bit of stockpile grass. So, guys, prep for Tuesday, not Doomsday. And the boring stuff matters the most. Let me see, Civil Defense. Good day to test your comms on the radio, clean off the solar panels, test mastastic nodes, etc. Yeah, I mean, it's always a fun day. Let me write something. Let me write a note. It's always a fun day to test radios. And I've got to get my radios moved down here. I want to do my radios right over here in the corner. I've got to get a desk, a small like desk and table, and I've got to get a couple more. Excuse me. I've got to get a couple more things to get everything. I've got to relocate one of my antennas, and then I've got to run the coax from the other side of the basement for my HF antenna. I've got to get that done, which I mean, that's no biggie. And then I've got to get in the attic and move my LMR 400. I got LMR 400 coming down in from the attic into the basement, but coming on the other side of the basement. So I'm going to pull it all the way up, bring it through the attic, and then drop it down in here in my office. So I'll have all that stuff ready to go. That's going to be one of these weekend projects. I put it off. I was like, I'm not getting in the attic when it's 90 something degrees outside, because in your attic's well over 100. I was like, it's not that important right now. I can go in the other room and mess with the radios right now. So, yes, but it is a good day to play with the comm stuff. All right. Teresa Hemingway, Kooky Fun, prepare for Tuesday power outage in the winter, bed topper tent, insulated craft for your ginger tea. It's fun and functional. Yeah. Let me see. I need help learning all the functions on my Baofeng UV32. Teresa, shoot me an email and we can help you with that. Brian and Susan, because we've got our radio packages that we sell, and Brian and Susan from S&B Homestead Radio do consultations. Shoot me an email, and then I can get you in touch with Brian and Susan, and they can help you out with that and figure out what they want to do with the consultation stuff. But Brian and Susan are doing the consultations for us. So shoot me an email. My email is jason@KentuckySustainableLiving.com. So shoot me an email, and we can get you fixed up on that. All right. You're welcome. All right. Most people are prepping for Doomsday, not Tuesday. And the Tuesday stuff is what's going to get you. It's the small stuff and everything. And it's just like anything else on a remodel job. The small stuff is what gets you on a lot of stuff. You see the big picture on everything. You're like, we got to get this kitchen done. But then the little small details are kind of what bite you in the butt on some things. So when I'm saying we're prepping for Tuesday, and we're talking about smaller emergency stuff, like a quick power outage, a small little thing. If you have an ice storm, power's going to be out for a day, maybe 2 days, running stuff like that. Your vehicle breaks down. That's a Tuesday thing. Medical bills that pop up, a missed paycheck, storm damage. You have not necessarily a tornado that comes through, but straight line winds that, mess up your roof, stuff like that. Water main breaks. They had a water main break the other day on the north end of town with a boil water advisory. It didn't last but 24 hours. But the thing is, if you didn't have a way to boil water or have some backup water, you're kind of out of luck, because for that 24-hour period, there was a boil water advisory that you had to boil the water to drink it and do it, or you needed to use your backup water supply. Sick kids. I mean, think about this. Do you have OTC medicines and stuff like that to take care of your kids? Do you have electrolytes? If the kids are vomiting and, diarrhea, do you have a way to replace the fluids that those kids are losing? Job loss. Think about this. You get laid off from your job. Do you have a little bit of money stashed away until you can get another job? Or if you're self-employed and you don't have a job, if you get your job finished and you don't have another job coming for a while, do you have a little bit of savings to make you through on that? Cuckbee Farmer, good morning, guy. I hope it's not super, super snowy and cold up there. It's a little cool this morning and no snow in Kentucky, at least in my place. And the thing is, also short-term, disruptions on stuff. If a store's out of a certain thing for just a short minute, you can handle that. People are not prepared for that kind of stuff. But if you look over, they've got a massive bug out bag. They've got, all kinds of stuff. And they're like, grab my bug out bag and my SKS and I'm going to head to the woods. But they can't handle a stinking flat tire on their truck or handle a dead battery. There's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about this. Or, they can't handle a small, like 1-day power outage or something like that. So, I mean, it's stuff that you're always prepared for, and not just, the big calamities and everything. Doomsday, the reason people feel, about doomsday prepping as opposed to Tuesday is doomsday prepping feels exciting. It's heroic and you want to feel in control. It's sexy and stuff. It's like, I've got my bug out bag, my SKS, and I'm going to run off in the woods and survive by myself, eating berries and hunting squirrels, and build one of these dugout shelters that you see all these morons do on TikTok and everything. It's like, I'm going to build my shelter where nobody can find me and build a stove out of nothing and do this. They think it's sexy and glamorous and heroic, and we're going to save the world on this when it goes to hell. But the thing is, if you're not prepared for Tuesday, you're not prepared for any kind of doomsday stuff. Tuesday prepping is boring, but the thing is, it's not glamorous, but it's responsible. If you're prepped for Tuesday, you have a responsibility to your family to be prepared. That's biblical. You need to be able to take care of your family on small stuff. And if you can't take care of the small stuff, you're not going to be able to take care of the big stuff. Buying night vision goggles and thermals and all this and spending thousands and thousands of dollars on that stuff. But then you don't have money for a small hiccup, a missed paycheck. You don't have extra food in there. Instead of spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on all that crap, make sure you've got some backup food for stuff. Make sure you've got a way, if you've got a power outage, that you can handle that. Your night vision is not going to do anything for a power outage unless it's going to let you see in the dark, but then your kids are going to be freezing to death. So what good are those things? Hold on. I've got somebody text messaging me, the plumber. All right. The plumbers are meeting me in a little while, so I told them what time I'd be there. But yeah, be responsible on the stuff. Don't go out and spend tons of money on your doomsday stuff when your kids don't have something to eat, or a backup plan, some backup and emergency food for your kids. Let me see. The Roman Prepper is on YouTube and other social media platforms. All right, I will check him out. Let's see. Civil defense. If you have a Baofeng radio with airband, listen to the aeronautical notifications on that frequency. You can hear the planes above your location. Yeah, I've done and messed with some of that. It's pretty cool. Then cycle your generator gasoline, add stabilizer, test equipment monthly if possible. Yeah, that's one of the big things. Get that generator out. All right. Yeah, get the generator out, cycle through that gas, make sure you are cycling your gas and stuff, and also run that generator. Don't just start the generator up and let it run. Put a load on the generator. I don't know the reasoning behind it or anything like that. I know it will let you test. You're testing the generator, not that it's just running, but it's actually producing power. But run it at a pretty good load for a while, 15, 20, 30 minutes. We'll take mine, and a lot of times I'll put I'll unplug my air compressor, my big shop air compressor, and plug it into the generator and make sure the compressor kicks on and just let it cycle and do that. That's a pretty heavy load for the generators. That, and then I'll plug some other stuff up. But yes, when you're checking your generator, run that thing with a load on it, and do it every month. I mean, it doesn't take that long. If you just got one generator, you're only talking 30 minutes out of your time, which that 30 minutes out of your time is going to save you hours upon hours when you actually need that thing if you can't get it running. That and another thing, if you're out there if you're out there and you're messing with it in an emergency, you know, it's probably going to be raining, cold, or snowing, or icy. You don't want to be out there messing with your generator in a time like that. You want to take it where your scheduled time, hey, it's nice outside, it's 45 degrees, not super cold. I can get out there and run my generator and mess with it, as opposed to, oh man, it's dark outside, I've got no power, so I'm doing it all by a flashlight, and then there's snow and ice coming down on you. It's like, I should have done this a month ago and made sure everything worked. So, all right. Top Tuesday emergencies. I kind of came up with a list of some of the top 10 Tuesday emergencies. Power outages. Most of your power outages, unless you have a major ice storm, like where we live, unless you have a major ice storm, the power outages are not that long. You know, a lot of times there may be a day, 2 days. They're not going to go on for weeks and weeks and weeks. I know when we had a ice storm. Good morning, Pilgrim. I know when we had an ice storm several years ago up around Shelley's place in Metcalfe County, I do know that some people were out for several weeks on that. But typically, they're not going to be that long. A lot of the times, they're, you know, an hour or two or up to a day. So people, but people still lose food. You know, they don't have heat, they don't have water, stuff like that. So power outages are one of your Tuesday things. Let me see. Do EcoFlow batteries need to be used every now and then? I would just keep those things topped off. You know, just make sure that they're go check the charge on those. My Anchor battery, my Anchor solar generator that I've got down here, I check the charge on it every now and then, and then I mean they hold a charge for quite a long time. But just check that thing every now and then. You don't have to really cycle those. Just make sure that they're topped off. The more cycles, and if you're just using it just to cycle it, I wouldn't do that. I would just make sure that the batteries are topped off and check the charge on those. That's what I do on mine that's down here in the basement. And then I've got one of the Anchor the Anchor coolers. The Anchor coolers that I pull the battery out and check the charge on it every now and then, just stick it on there. Pilgrim says, I discharge to 60% every 4 months and then refill. That's what Pilgrim does. Your mileage can vary. I just keep mine topped off all the time. Just check the charge on it and see. And if it's like, hey, it's down a little bit, we'll just plug it in for a little while. Let's see, civil defense. I was stationed in Radcliffe, Fort Knox back in '96. Army tanker. I'm in Connecticut now. It's cold in Connecticut, I bet. I'm not super far from Radcliffe and Fort Knox, and I've stomped around up around there a bunch. I mean, I'm in Bowling Green, so I'm an hour and 15, something like that. Michigan Silverback, good morning. All right. Power outages is number one Tuesday thing that's going to smack you in the face real quick. Michael Osborne, good morning. I'm glad you made it too. Vehicle failures. This is one that's going to get you. How many times when you're driving down the road, you see a car on the side of the road that's got their hazard lights on, that's been sitting there? I mean, look at it. Cars break down every day. You know, if your car dies out, you've lost a way to get to the grocery store. You missed, you know, how to get to your job. You've missed getting your kids or your wife or something like that to medical stuff if you need to. I mean, car failures happen all the stinking time, whether it's a flat tire, a dead battery, anything other that can go wrong with it. I mean, just think about it. Heck, think about how many times people lock their keys in their car. Think about that. Do you have a couple extra sets of keys? And then also, most of the time, the people have their garage door opener inside their vehicle. So if they lock that in there, then they can't get the garage door open. And a lot of times people keep their house key on their vehicle key with it. So if you lock that up, you have another way to get inside your house. And then you're just like, oh man, yeah, I've got an extra set of truck keys in the house, but my house key is on my truck keys that are locked in there. So it's like, great, you got extra truck keys, but they're locked in your house. Do you have an extra way to get inside your house? Think about that. That's where a spare keychain I keep, and I don't have it on me, it's upstairs. I've got an extra set of keys, a small key ring that I keep house keys on. So you've got that. Then that way you can get inside. Or if you got somewhere to stash an extra set of vehicle keys, stash them in your shop, something like that. And Cuck V, accident also can total the vehicle out. Yeah, just small stuff. I mean, flat tires, all that. I mean, and right now is the time of year when the temperature starts going down and back up and all that. You get the little tire lights and stuff like that. I will tell you one of the best preps I've got for my vehicle. And Jake, one of my buddies, Jake from Indiana, he gave me, I'm a Milwaukee guy. He gave me the Milwaukee. It's the M18 inflator. It's a battery operated inflator compressor. I've got it, and I keep that thing in the truck with a full battery. It is amazing. I've used that thing so many stinking times to air up a tire, anything like that. I've got on my truck, it's got the tire sensors where you can look at what they're at. I stick it, you know, if a light comes on, I'll check it most of the time in the morning. And then I'm like, ooh, this tire maybe might be a smidge low. I'll pull that thing out, literally turn it on, hook it up, and you're off and running. I've used that thing to air up truck tires, trailer tires. I used it to air up the front tire of my tractor one time. And it's got enough power in it that it'll air up truck tires and small tractor tires. That's freaking amazing. So look at getting one of those. I know DeWalt makes one. I think Ryobi makes them. Stuff like that. They're stinking amazing. And then Michael's on board. I keep the M12 version in mine and my wife's car. They're great. I have not delved into the M12 stuff. I've thought about doing M12 stuff, but I'm like, I am all straight 18. I don't want another platform. But one of these days, I will grab it. Yeah, Michael, that the basketballs are the thing. And the cool thing is mine has got all the little nozzles on the back of it. And as long as you keep up with those nozzles, you're set and ready to go. But yeah, I've used it many a times to air up basketballs and footballs for the kids. Civil defense. Extra firearm in the vehicle is good too. I have a bolted down mini safe with a snub nose 357. Teresa, keep items that you got to get out stuck in snow. I ran onto a bunch of skiers trying to shovel out with their skis. Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing too. If you live with a place that's got super big snow, it would probably behoove you to keep a snow shoveler or two in your truck in the wintertime or in the back of your vehicle. Luckily, we don't have that much snow that we have to keep shovels and stuff like that. But typically, I keep a shovel in my truck anyway, just because I never know what kind of crap I'm going to get into with my job and stuff. All right. Medical emergencies. That's another one that can smack you in the face. And we all know ER visits are not cheap. Even if you've got super good insurance, ER visits are not cheap by any means. I don't know what it is for us, but my wife was looking at it. It's like open enrollment or that kind of crap for insurance. And she was telling me this. It kind of went over my head. I'm like, just get the stuff that we had last year. It worked out. It's good. But an ER visit can collapse your finances super quick. So look at it. There's stuff. Be medically prepared. Get medical and first aid kits that you've got at your house to where you can take care of stuff. Get some of the training for it to where if you've got a cut on your hand, you can look at that and be like, hey, we need to go to the ER, or hey, I can take care of that here. A burn, something like that. Take care of that stuff at the house. Look at it, evaluate it, and with your medical training that you've gotten, it's like, hey, we can take care of this thing. and not spend thousands of dollars going to the ER and sit there for 4 or 5 hours. Have over-the-counter medicine stuff. Have your electrolytes for your kids and for you. If you're sick with the flu, it's like, hey, we're not going to go sit in an emergency room for hours upon hours for them to give you an IV and stuff like that. It's like, let's go ahead and take care of this stuff at home. So part of that is training too, and having the supplies at your house to take care of that. Yeah, Cook B, burns are nothing to fool around with. Yeah, major burns, major, second, third degree burns, that stuff, you need to go to the ER. Unless you're, some super duper dude, hey, go second and third degree burns, do that. First degree burns, hey, you can handle that stuff. But yeah, burns are nothing to play with. So medical emergencies, know how to take care of minor medical emergencies at your house. Get the training, get the supplies and all that. Have them sitting there to where you can do that. And then you're not going to get financially ruined by a major ER visit. Job disruption is another thing that'll smack you. Whether it's, if you're working at a factory, the factory's shutting down, they're doing layoffs, all this, or your business has been taken and, everybody gets fired and stuff like that. The place shuts down. You never know. If you miss 2 paychecks, your family's probably done. So that's where you need to store back some cash, stick some money back, have a buffer to where you're not living every day. That's one of the major emergencies. That's going to put you out faster than any of the doomsday stuff. Another thing, weather events. Weather events will smack you in the face, whether that's floods, ice storms, heat waves, tornadoes, all that kind of stuff. That stuff that happens, storms happen all the time. The guys have not been jumping out of planes. The Chinese are not jumping out of planes. The North Koreans are not jumping out of planes, parachuting down. There's not been nukes going off every day, but there have been tornadoes and ice storms and heat waves and snowstorms pretty much almost every other day around. So you've got to look at that. Those things are going to smack you in the face before anything else. Have your generator set up. Have an extra way to heat your house in case the power goes out. If a tornado or a big storm comes through and blows some stuff off your roof, have a tarp ready to go to where you can tarp your roof until you can get the roof fixed. Stuff like that. Something comes through a window and bust a window. Have a way to button that window up to where all the weather's not just going to be coming in. Have something to do that. This is Tuesday stuff that's going to affect you way more than Red Dawn happening. And Cook B, you need to get the prescription cream with the silver in it for burns. I've seen some of that. What was it? I'll have to think of it in a minute. I know I'll have to think. I saw some stuff for burns, and I want to pick some of it up and try it out. One of the biggest things that's ignored with a lot of stuff is a financial prep. Financial preparedness isn't sexy, but the thing is, it buys you options and time. So, money, it's not sexy, but money solves some stuff. Evacuations. If you need to evacuate a place and you have a backup emergency plan, you have money to evacuate and go stay at a hotel or something like that. Repairs. Hey, if you're financially prepared and you've got a flat tire, it's no big deal. We can get a new tire. If the battery dies, hey, we can get a new battery. That's no big deal. That's not a major hiccup in there. Go get the new battery. You're on your way back to work and all that. Food shortages. If you're preparing financially, you've got money to put food back for your family. Transportation stuff. I mean, if you're, I don't know, if your car's in the shop for something and insurance is not going to cover that, you can get a rental car. You can get temporary housing. I mean, hopefully if you've got good insurance, your insurance is going to pay for temporary housing if you have to move out of your house, something like that. But you never know. Insurance companies will screw people as hard and as many times as they'll let them get by with. I've seen it all the time. And so if you don't have a an emergency savings, get in there. Start with an emergency savings account. Do the Dave Ramsey thing. Get $1,000 in the bank, and that's your emergency fund. $1,000 will cover a lot of stuff that goes wrong. I mean, $1,000 in there, you're going to be able to get a new battery, not blink an eye. You're going to be able to get a new tire and not blink an eye. Small repairs on your vehicle, you're going to be able to do that and not blink an eye. If you've got to evacuate, you've got $1,000 emergency fund. You can go stay in a hotel for a night or two. Not a big deal. Reduce the debt. The debt is the borrower's slave to the lender. That's 100% true. Also, and we've talked about this as far as starting your own business and stuff like that, multiple income streams. If you've got your 9-to-5 job and you want to do a side hustle, because then the thing is, if they reduce your hours at work, you're like, oh, I'm going to have to jump in. I've got more time to work on my side hustle, and then I can make more money with my side hustle. So do that. Have multiple income streams. And then, Victor, the cream with silver is Slavadin. That's how you say it. I suck at pronouncing stuff, so everybody sees that. And Trish says, tarps, construction bags, and buckets. Yeah, I mean, you can never have too many tarps at your house. You can never have too many trash bags, and you can never have too many buckets. I've got unbelievable amounts of buckets here. I've got tons of tarps. I've got, down in the shop, I've got a whole, like one of those 30 or 50-gallon bins full of tarps and rope and all kinds of stuff like that. And then also with tarps, get the nails that the roofers use. They've got the round plastic button top. Those things are amazing at holding tarps down. And I think you can get like a whole 25-pound bucket of those for like next to nothing. I bought 2 or 3 buckets of those, and I've just got them sitting down there if we ever need those. And I used them a couple years ago. We were putting a tarp up on one of the sheds. I was like, we need to keep it a little bit warmer in there. Stuck it all the way around there, nailed it in there, and that thing is held amazingly good. Michael says, my wife insists that you can indeed have too many buckets and that I do. Your wife is wrong, Michael. You can never have too many buckets. Unless you fill up like 40 acres with buckets stacked 10 foot tall, then you probably got too many buckets. But the thing is, just hide your buckets from your wife, and then she won't ever know. But the thing is, your wife is going to, if she needs a bucket and you can give her a bucket every time she needs a bucket for something, then she's never going to fuss about how many buckets you have. There is stuff all the time that my wife is like, do you have one of these? And I'm like, yeah, I've got like 4 or 5 of these. And she was like, seriously, can I have one? And she's like, why do you have this? And I'm like, I use it every now and then. She asked me, she does cookies sometimes for people at church. And she's doing some for my youngest one's school. And she's doing them all individually packed. And she's like, I've been wanting to buy one of these impulse sealers. And I look over at it and I was like, I've got one of those. Before she goes, do you know anything about ordering these and using them? I was like, yeah. I was like, I've got one. She said, why in the hell do you have an impulse sealer? I'm like, that's what I use to seal our Mylar bags. And she was like, oh, I didn't know you had one. I was like, yeah. I was like, when I bought the freeze dryer, the whole kit, they send you one of those. And she's like, that's stinking awesome. She's like, can I use it? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, it's downstairs underneath the freeze dryer on the table. I was like, if you need it, go down there and use it. She's like, that's pretty cool that you've got one of those. See, Trish says, button top nails. Go look that up. Let me see. Bear with me for dead air. Let's hit Lowe's. Let me see. Yes, they're plastic cap nails. And you can get a box of 3,000. They don't sell them by the pound now. You can get a box of 3,000 for $37 at Lowe's. Those things are awesome for holding tarps down. Use those things all the time. All right. Let's go back. All right. Financial preparedness. Get some of that stuff squared away. And Teresa, they've also got them in, smaller, the 1 pound boxes, the 5 pound boxes and stuff. But you got to look, most of the time, if you're buying nails and screws, the bigger the package you buy, the cheaper they're going to be per pound. But look at the screws. Sometimes like the deck screws at Lowe's are cheaper to buy them in a 25 pound box as opposed to a 50 pound box. So just look at it real quick. I was in there one day buying a bunch. I don't use drywall screws except for drywall. All the screws we use in our construction business are the deck screws. And then that way I only have to keep one screw. I don't have to worry about, I can't use this screw outside because it's not an outside rated screw. You can use outside rated screws inside. So that just keeps where I'm not stocking a million different screws. But I looked and it was actually cheaper to buy those screws in a 25 pound package as opposed to a 50 pound package. So look at that. Lowe's likes to screw around with the prices sometimes. All right. Practical Tuesday preps. Not Doomsday preps, but Tuesday preps. This is kind of where it gets real on stuff. Can you access 72 hours of water for your family? Yes or no? You have 72 hours. Could you survive 72 hours, on the water that you've got stored right now? Shelf-stable foods. You got it where, if you can't get to the grocery, do you have enough stuff on your shelf, not in your freezer, but on your shelf that you can make meals for 72 hours? Do you have some battery backups and lighting stuff? I mean, what have you got for that? Do you have a small solar generator where you can keep some lights on, charge some stuff, everything like that? A way to cook. You got a way to cook without the power. And this can be, if you've got a propane stove, you can use that. That doesn't require power. You got your grill ready to go? Do you have propane for your grill? Or are you going to use a charcoal grill? Do you have charcoal for your charcoal grill? Or do you have an offset wood smoker? I've got an offset wood smoker. We can fire that joker up. I can smoke meat or I can cook on the small part. And it's just a small firebox, so you're not burning a ton of wood. So look at that. First aid and OTC stuff. Do you have first aid kits? Do you know where all your first aid stuff is at? Is it scattered all over the place? Do you have enough stuff? I mean, you got OTC medicine. Do you have stuff for allergies, fever, all that kind of stuff? And going along, do you have herbal stuff that you can use? Do you have tinctures? Do you know how to use it? Also, do you know how to use the medical stuff that you've got? That's where training comes in. You got some cash on hand. I'm a cash guy. I carry cash all the stinking time. Think about it. If the credit card systems, if you walk up and you got to get something, they're like, oh, our credit card machines are down. We're only taking cash. Do you have cash on you to where you can pay for this stuff? Do you have spare vehicle supplies? I know a lot of people when a lot of the stuff was going stupid and tires were getting stupid expensive and everything, people are like, instead of having that money sitting in the bank, I went and bought a new set of tires for my truck, even though I didn't need them right now. It's like I'm hedging off inflation on it. And they're like, I'm going to put the new tires in the shop. And it's like, I know I'm going to need these tires pretty soon. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the life out of the ones that are on there. But then I've got the tires sitting there at yesterday's price. You got a plan for your kids, the elderly, pets? In that 72-hour deal, what are the kids going to do? What's the elderly going to do? What are you going to do with your pets? And then also copies of important documents. There's all kinds of times where you need these documents and stuff like that. So make sure you've got important documents in a safe somewhere that you can grab these things relatively quick. He says, I'm a fastener junkie for all kinds of stuff, including my Christmas outdoor decorations. Hey, I've got of course, we got KSL as a business, but I got my contracting business. I've got so many screws and nails, nuts and bolts, and all that kind of crap. I mean, it's just stupid. And you can ask Shelly when she's on here next time. It's like Jason has got tons of stupid stuff, and she thinks it's stupid sometimes, but I don't think it's stupid. But you know, I've got all the fasteners and nails and screws and all that kind of stuff. And there's a free phone app that helps you get solar panels at correct angles at different times of the year. I've seen a bunch of the solar apps like that, and you can plug it in and do and mess with all that. I've not messed with it yet. We just usually crank ours out and get them to where they're looking good. And on like my bigger solar generator, it will tell you like what percentage they're working at. So I can kind of play with it a little bit and get it up to a higher percentage. All right. And now this is why Tuesday preps lead into real, you know, doomsday preps or an SHTF situation. Think about it like this. Okay. If you're like, hey, I'm going to go run a marathon. I want to start running a marathon. You don't go out and start running 26.2 miles. You've got to get up to it. You're like, hey, I'm going to start and I'm going to run 2 miles today and I'm going to build myself up. If you can't handle Tuesday, you can't handle doomsday. So look at it that way, you know. And if you're ahead on Tuesday and you're prepped for Tuesday, then you're also prepped for Friday. And then you just keep moving along. You know, boring preps will actually scale up on stuff. You know, it's the boring stuff that you do every day. You know, you just keep stocking. You're just like, hey, man, I've got Tuesday covered. If the power goes out, man, we can fire the generator up. We can have power and stuff like that. So you've got the first step. It's all, you know, what is it? Crawl, walk, run. Let's start off crawling on this stuff. Let's get Tuesday ready, and then we're going to build up. And it's like, hey, man, I've got Tuesday covered. If I got a flat tire on my truck, I know what to do. If there's no food at the grocery store, that's cool. We've got a week's supply of food in there, and you're feeling good. And you're like, man, we can step this game up a little bit. So just keep going. You know, crawl, walk, run. Pretty soon you're going to be running. You're like, hell yeah, I can take Doomsday by the horns, and we're set and ready to go. It just builds confidence with you. It builds systems, habits, and resilience. You know, you've got a system going. It's like, hey, we got $1,000 in the bank. We're doing this. We're set. All that. So, I mean, do that kind of stuff. Get ready for Tuesday before you start getting ready for Doomsday. Guys, that's about all I've got. I mean, it's a slow, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Get ready for Tuesday. And if you're prepared for Tuesday, you're prepared. You're probably more prepared than 90% of the people that you pass throughout the day. And Dan says, Sunseeker app for positioning. We got start learning to avoid pre-storm grocery store panic. Yes, 100%. Do not. Well, that's like going to the grocery store the day before Thanksgiving. Do not go to the grocery store the day before Thanksgiving. It's a madhouse. So, yeah. And it's all, you know, hey, if I don't have to, like running when everybody's freaking out about the storms and everybody's grabbing, I don't know what they do in other states, but in Kentucky, when they're forecasting snow, everybody runs out and grabs milk, bread, and eggs. And it's like, is everybody making French toast or what? It's like, why are you grabbing all that crap? Ag Homestead, good morning. Yes, avoid the grocery store panic. Have all the stuff. Gasoline. Rotate your gas out. If they're calling for snow, don't be like, oh, man, I've got to grab. Carter Lee, good morning. How are you doing? I hope everything's going good with you, because I know you've been doing the doctor stuff and all that. I see it on Facebook. I hope you're doing good. But yeah, you know, don't run out there and it's like, oh, my gosh, I got to get all my gas cans and get all those filled up. And then you're sitting in line and you're just like, man, I'm wasting so much time sitting here at the gas station filling the gas up and all this when I could be at home doing this other stuff. It's like, have your gas right now. I mean, very rarely am I like, holy crap, I've got to run out and get some stuff, you know, because I'll do it throughout the time. It's like, hey, I need to fill up a gas can. So I'll throw it in the truck and then, then, I see it in the bed of the truck. It's like, okay, I've got it in the bed of the truck. While I'm filling my truck up, I'll just go ahead and fill this gas can up. It takes you a couple extra minutes and you're set and ready to go. And Trish says, I'm going to try listening to the planes with this thing. Thanks. You're welcome. Yeah, shoot me an email and we'll get you set up and show you how to use that joker. Harley says, Florida participating in winter. It's a nippy 50 here today. Hey, it was cold. Sunday and yesterday. Today, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be a little bit warmer here today. I know it's going to be warmer. I just don't know how much. We're at 35 right now. It's supposed to get to 50 today. So, all right, guys. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I will be back on here tonight at 7 o'clock, I think. We're going to be on with Patrick and Bobby from Midwest and Nicole from Self-Reliance. Shelly will be on here. I think we're going to do some kind of Christmas special or something. I don't know. I just show up for it. So I think that's at 7 o'clock. Join us. I think we're going to be doing the knives, and whoever got the knives, we're going to be sending those things out. I don't know. Like I said, I show up for the stuff. They orchestrate all of it. I'm just a pretty smiling face when we get on here. But, guys, I appreciate it. We'll be on tonight at 7 o'clock, and then Wednesday night we will be on, and then I will be back here on Friday. Check out if you need bleeding control kits. Those things are on the website, Bleed 15, and then free shipping over $75. Guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see y'all tonight. Y'all have a good day.